What up, dude? Welcome to the Boss Up Ball Out podcast, your home for organic debate about Detroit Lions news and rumors. It's your man, Professor Curt Steele. The Lions put on a clinic the past 2 days in joint practices, against the Miami Dolphins. On today's show, we recap how dominant Detroit was against the Miami Dolphins. Hey, do the channel a quick favor. Like the video, share the video, and comment on the video. All these things help us get this content to more Detroit Lions fans like yourself, and it helps that with that YouTube algorithm. Hey, if you enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel. We are on our way to 3,000 subscribers, and we currently sit at 2,945. And of course, shout out to our channel members. Let me get them they step up here to give them a shout out. Of course, we got T-Bone Locks, Sean Bird, Lauren Vander Esch, Britt DeWitt, Miss Mary Smith, and Big John Martin. So shout out to our channel members, man. We appreciate you for hanging out with us right here on the Boss Up Ball Out podcast, man. And of course, I have to bring in my special guest for today. Y'all know him, y'all love him. It's the Brit with Grit, my man Anthony from Royal Lions UK. How you doing this morning, Anthony?
Hey, I'm doing very good, thanks, Curt. Appreciate you having me on as always. You're catching me just at the end of a work shift today. I'm good. I'm getting to go home. I'm going to relax, watch Lions football. It's all good stuff. So appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, if you're new to our channel, you don't know how our show works. We look at Detroit Lions news, headlines, or takes. If we agree, we say they are bossed up. If we disagree, we say they are balled on. We give our reasons why we agree or disagree. No hot takes here. Just our true thoughts and opinions about what's going on with our favorite team, the Detroit Lions. But for live shows, we do a little differently. I want you guys to put if you agree or disagree. So put hashtag bossed up if you agree in the chat. If you disagree, put hashtag balled on, man. And, we're going to put it on the screen and talk about a little bit with my special guest here. Of course, my man, the Brit with Grit. All right, so first thing we're going to talk about, man, is how the offense did. Man, because that was the show for the last couple of days, of course. And John Morton's offense has looked strong. If you don't know, man, so any question about how the Lions will take a step back under Johnny Moe were quickly answered during joint practices. On Tuesday, St. Brown, that dude dominated the Dolphins defensive backs, winning deep, making incredible sideline catches and dissecting the intermediate and middle zones. Jared Goff was cooking. His passer rating would have been perfect, especially when they went against Jack Jones. That dude, he had a terrible practice on Wednesday. The joint practice served as a strong reminder that St. Brown, y'all know the son guy, can take charge of games like any elite receiver in this league. He got constant separation in his routes, man. The starting offensive line kept Jared Goff clean and opened some solid running lanes for Demo and Gibbs on that first day. And having Decker back was a big, big boost for this offense. Now, switch to day two. Day one was St. Brown's day, but day two, it was Waymo. Man, that dude caught a 50-yard ball from Goff as soon as they opened the team drills, and he got past former teammate Ife Melifonwu, who he had a fight with at the end of practice the previous day, and J-Mo was just had a day. Tate Ratliff and Penei Sewell were dominant in the run game on day two. One moment that stood out is we got a kind of a different look at what the trick plays may look like under Morton, because he had David Montgomery lined up in the Wildcat and he handed the ball off to Jahmyr Gibbs. Now, the Dolphins defense gave them more competition on day two because day one, they just killed them. But the Lions offense still just pretty much overwhelmed the Dolphins defense for the bulk of the two joint practices. For the reports that you saw coming out of Allen Park and the My Performance Center, Anthony, what did you think about what happened in the joint practices as far as on the offensive side of the ball?
I mean, you saw our culture shine through the dominant grit culture. You're going to come joint practice with us. You best be ready to give 200%. And the Miami Dolphins were not ready to do that. They were very clear. They're probably thinking it's preseason. They're ramped up. It's going to be a little easy to start with. And instead, they just get hit by the freight train, which is, we showed them up for how we practice, for the amount of detail we put into the intensity that So that was very apparent right away. But seeing the individual really, Amo, I was so happy for him. Like, this time 12 months ago, a lot of people were giving up on him. They were saying he was bad, bad for the culture, all that. He's not broke out, and the injuries and everything. And 12 months later, he's rejuvenated. Like we saw last year, how good he is. This year, he seems like he's a man on a mission, ready to just absolutely blow the league apart. And seeing what we invested in the draft is no one really likes in the league, in just in terms of the blocking, intensity he plays with, field ability. There's guys who can stretch the field. There's guys who can big play guys. Not with the physicality that J-Mo. You saw that come to life. You saw the speed come to life. Like I say, Amon-Ra he's just great. He's never going to take a day off. He's just absolutely tremendous, and he looks like he's in mid-season. Great. But then the other one, the big one that I'm really pleased with was Rattler. We need him to be good right away off the bat. Ideally, with the little amount of football Mahogany's played, and given he was a 6th-round pick, you want Mahogany to kind of be the rookie in the line this year, if you know what I mean. You want Ratledge to be right in there, so the established vet who's going to play and going to look like he's the part. He'll play for 6 years. That'll allow Mahogany a bit of time to gel on that left-hand side. He looked every bit as done. Invested in him. I'm glad they made the switch back to right. I'd rather this Ratledge at right than one struggling to play centre. He's never played before, and ideally we just keep him there. Look at centre next year after the draft, in free agent. Let Graham play one more year there. Let Ratledge play where he wants. It's just the speed and the intensity is there. The desire is there. One thing I've always said about this team, when it's encountered a speed block, it doesn't let its head doesn't drop. They don't get sorry for come back strong, make sure it doesn't again. And that loss to Washington last year with the big speed block, it looks like they're already ready to. They want to go out there and put that memory to bed. And that's exactly how they look. Yeah, that's what I love about what I've seen.
Yeah. Excuse me, you breaking up a little bit, but he's at work. He says he's at work, so give him a little free. They talk about the connection in the chat. I would say this, looking at this, and it's what I expected from St. Brown. I mean, St. Brown's going to St. Brown. I mean, the guy's going to do what he does. Waymo, I'm predicting a big season out of Jameson Williams. I've predicted it since the end of last year, and he just looks stronger. He looks faster. I mean, that New Jersey number is working out for him very well, and I just like what I'm seeing out of the young man. I agree with you wholeheartedly on what we're seeing out of Tate Ratledge, man. I think putting him next to Sewell, he's getting used to that, playing next to Sewell, playing next to Graham. Graham didn't have a great season last year at guard, but at left guard, of course, but he's more of a right guard naturally. So having him at center is going to help with the offense and keep them on schedule. So I'm looking at this offense and I'm like, I don't get where people are saying we're going to take a step back. Of course, we're going to miss Frank Ragnow. That's probably the biggest, subtraction on the team. But Graham filled in well for him last year. Graham has starting experience as a center in the NFL, playing for the Lions. So, and of course, JG is more comfortable with him than he is Tate Ratledge playing center. So, and then Ratledge needs to just learn the position. He has a year to sit next to Graham, and learn the position. If they don't move him to center, maybe they bring in someone. They draft the center next year, or maybe they, like you said, bring in a free agent. So that's definitely good, man. Hey, like the video, share the video, and comment on the video. All these things help us get this content out to more Detroit Lions fans, just like yourself, man. We appreciate you right here. And of course, the Boss Up Ball Out merch shop is available. You can find a link in the description of this video and on the homepage of the channel. Put in that code Boss Up Ball Out 10 at checkout. When you spend $45, you get 10% off an item. Channel members, here's a perk for my channel members. Hey, if you're in a channel member, you're in this in the live show, you got some special emojis you can use. So go ahead and hit those emojis for me as well. But you get 15% off your total order in the shop, man. So check out the community tab for the discount code or the link to the coupon right there on the community tab of the Boss Up Ball Out podcast. And of course, man, Thanks again for my man Anthony for coming in and hanging out with us this morning. Of course, man. Now let's switch gears. Let's go talk about the Lions could have one of the best defenses in the NFL this season, and it showed in joint practices. Again, people talked about what's going on with the defense and the coordinator switching and all this crap. If you wonder, or you were curious about why the Lions offense was kind of struggling or sluggish in camp, that's because Kelvin Shepherd's crew was making it hard, man. And the Dolphins felt the brunt of it. The first day, the Lions defense really stepped up and played tough. They shut down the Dolphins offense, keep in mind, though, the Dolphins were on the first day, they were without Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. But let's kind of look at what happened on that first day, man. Rock Ya-Sin was in for Kirby Joseph, who's been out, while DJ Reed and DiCaprio Botto kind of stepped back. They were out. They played the starting cornerback roles because TA was out on the first day. But, they held it down. But Boodle is now RR. We'll get to that later. But he had to leave early with an injury. The Lions starters are on fire. Brian Branch was killing it in the one-on-one drills, 7-on-7s. The young safety, Keneally, however you say his name, and Whiteside was snagging interceptions, 11-on-11s. The Lions got sacks all over the place, man. Took advantage of some penalties by the Dolphins, and those sacks came via Aiden Hutchinson and Marcus Davenport. All on that first day, man. They only had like 4 successful drives out of 25 tries. The Lions' first team defense was dominant in the red zone as well. Switched to day 2. Dolphins offense got off to a better start, as in Jalen Waddle returned from injury. He made an instant impact in the first set of 7-on-7s. However, as the day went on, the defense dominated again, ending the practice with keeping the Miami out of the end zone during the red zone period. Here's the craziest thing I heard from joint practices is that on the defensive side of the ball, Aiden Hutchinson was whipping the Dolphins so much that the ref had to stop blowing the whistle so they could actually run a play. And that means that the Aiden Hutchinson rules for the joint practices or for the practices for the training camp had to extend to joint practices. That's absolutely bananas. So you had to just let the play go on because he was just getting too many simulated sacks. That's absolutely bananas, man. That a guy can wreck the whole. He's been wrecking the Lions training camp offense the whole, since they started. But now it's even spilled over to joint practices, man. So what do you think about how the defense? I think the Lions can have one of the best defenses in the league. It's not a what do you call that? It's not a fluke that the Lions offense struggles against the Lions defense.
I mean, they've got their star back. So when Hutch is on the team, everybody's better because he's creating all the pressure up front and he's creating so many problems for the opposition that it allows everyone else a certain degree of freedom to go and do their thing. So you can tell that in.
Uh-oh. Did we lose you? All right. We'll get back to it in a minute. Let's read some of your comments, man. Of course, Lauren Vander Esch says, what up, though? Good morning, bosses. Good morning, my man, Lauren Vander Esch. Big channel member. What up, though, for Big Dookie? Okay, there you go. Now you're back. Go ahead. Finish your point.
Sorry, Curt. Yeah, as I was saying, the defense has got its leader back and everyone else is vibing off that. And you can see the energy around. You say the secondary is just so good at what it does. We've got so many ball players back there. The competition, it's tough. Like these guys like Keneally and that are playing out their skins, but they're fighting for a roster spot. And there's only one spot there for these safeties. And, you're hoping for competition in that room, and it looks like you're getting that. And this whole team just looks like it's ready to play football again. It wants to forget the taste of last year and seeing the intensity of which they're playing, and it's great. The only thing that would give me pause about saying they're going to be great right off the bat, this Miami Dolphins team is terrible. I'm going to say that right now. And one thing they're known for, they've got no bottle to them. Mike McDaniel, I call him a team of Dan Campbell. He does all the the rah-rah speeches. He does all the, I'm a player's guy. He does everything that wants to do, but the Miami team don't buy into it. And you can see the players don't buy into it the way that they do with Dan. And you can see that they're not putting in the same level of effort for him. So while we've dominated this Miami team, which is great, I think they're one of the poorest outfits out there. They've got flash players, but they don't have a team. They've not got a playoff win since 2003, and you can just see they weren't ready for the intensity we played. I'd rather feel against an outfit that's better and who's going to hit us back a lot harder and really see this defense tested first before I can say it's going to be a top 5 defense or something like that. But you beat what's put in front of you, right? We put this offense in front of us, and we've absolutely dominated them, and it's been a no contest. And that is what you want to see at the bare minimum. So I'm really happy with what I've seen. I'm just going to pump the brakes on saying they're going to be like a top 5 unit at the minute until we see the level of opposition go up. But yeah, so far so good. Love it.
Yeah, the only pushback I'm gonna give you on that is that the Lions were a top 5 defense at the start of last season when they were healthy. So if they can come in healthy and stay healthy, I think they have the ability to be one of the top defenses in the league, man. Hey, shout out to my man Wolverine. Coach Mike Jones is in the chat, man. What up, though? What's going on, man? Broski barely cracking me up, man. I hope Hutch is tested for PEDs. And Attila the Hun has a great comeback. He said tested for Wolverine blood. That's it. That's about it, man. He's got those claws, man. I'm gonna tell you, man, what I'm seeing out of that is bananas. Where you can't run they have to like let the whole play just continue, because if you don't do that, he's gonna stop the play every time, man. That is absolutely banana. I think he could be a candidate for 2 awards this year. He could be a candidate for comeback player of the year, defensive player of the year. And while you're playing, if he has a season like he had last year, he could be one of those guys like a Lawrence Taylor, man, like the last defensive player to win to win the league MVP. That's how talented Aiden Hudson is, and if he can get going, man, it could be curtains for the whole league. I am praying for some of these quarterbacks because he is going to be on a mission. He looks better, stronger, faster than he was before the injury. So I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Aiden Hutchinson. Hey, the Boss Up Ball Out podcast is sponsored by Dubby Energy Drink, packed with brain boosting amino acids and vitamins and no sugar for your man, Curt. That's important because I'm a type 2 diabetic. It gets your pump for tackling your day, and you can cost you about $1 a drink. It's a great alternative to coffee or canned beverages with no crashes or jitters. Check the video description for the link to buy Dubby. Use the code BOSSOutBallOutPod for 10% off your order. Power your day with Dubby. All right, let's get back into the content, man. We got to talk about the thing we always got to talk about is injuries, because we have a lot of those, man, and then they're just going around the league. Let's go with first up on who's on the injury list still. Miles Frazier, Aleem McNeil, Mekhi Wingo, and Pascal, Rodrigo, and Khalil Dorsey. They're still on their list, man. They're not even off. They're working on the sides, but some of them, they're still kind of ways off. Not practicing on Thursday was Tim Patrick, Malik Taylor, Sam Laporta, Giovanni Manu, and of course, then we got Tristan Colon was out with an elbow injury. And then Keaton Sutherland was out with a knee injury. DiCaprio Boodle was out, but he's been placed on injured reserve. Safety Kirby Joseph, they're holding him out. And of course, we got Maurice Norris is still out with a concussion protocol. The guys who came back to practice was Dominic Lovett, Tom Kennedy, Pat O'Connor came back, and Terrion Arnold was fully participating in team drills yesterday. So he got back. So I'm liking that. Really good news yesterday that no one left practice with an injury yesterday on Thursday. So that's a good update. No injuries at the practice yesterday. So as far as the injuries front is concerned, Anthony, are you concerned about all the injuries, or are you feeling indifferent? What are your thoughts on the injuries at camp right now?
It's part and parcel of the game. Like we've seen around the league, the stars dropping every single day, and where we've been lucky is we're not losing our stars. Like a lot of these guys we're losing are just guys we bought off the street or are so far down the depth chart. And of course, you never want to see anybody injured, but in terms of losing starters themselves, we're fine, and that's what we really want. You know, that's what these practices are for, the intensities for. I know some people don't like it, and you can understand that. But at the same point, as Dan said, in year one, I've got to get you ready. I've got to get your bodies ready. If I don't get your bodies ready and you go into the season and get hurt, I fail. And we need to get them ready. And some people are going to fall along the wayside. Like, you know, Ennis is one of the big examples. Ennis's body is just clearly not ready to play regularly in the NFL, but you've got to test him through camp and broken down. You know, you could say it's a bad thing, but at the end of the day, we're getting the people who aren't sitting ready to make it are falling by the wayside. But that's just something you have to do, unfortunately. So, you know, for the most part, it seems all right. These guys are adapting. They're up to intensity already. They're playing well. I like that. But this is a necessity. This is a necessary part of the game. If we just didn't practice once before season and started with a healthy roster, we'd lose half of them in the first month from injuries, contact injuries. You know, I'm just glad that in terms of the first teamers and depth players, we're not seeing. Thinking about everyone who has been, but you don't want to see it after the game. It's going to keep happening. It's part and parcel, and we just have to get used to it. But I do not want Dan to change his approach one bit. So that's where the conversation is with this. But he does it right. Look at all this team has done in 2 years. 15 wins, number one seeds, NFC championship games. You can critique the training all you want. It's paid off when it matters.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm looking at this, and I have to agree with you 100%. Where I got to give you a big boss up on that, man, because we're losing. The guys that we're losing are guys that are very much down the depth chart. You know, these guys are probably the guys that may not even be on the NFL roster come week one, or may not be on the team after cut down day. We're getting, and as training camp goes along, next week is literally the last week of training camp. Like literally, like they have the joint practices with the Texans, and that's it. The last preseason game cut down, and then they get the regular season's really upon us. I mean, I know we're only in the middle of August, but you look at it, man, 2 weeks and it's the season. Or 3 weeks, it's the season. So you get that week break, but next week is pretty much the last week of training camp for the Lions, and we haven't had a serious injury yet. You know, and I think the Lions take their correct approach. Like when a guy gets a little nagging injury, they sit him out. You know, they don't want him to have a type of injury that could be lasting and keep going. So I love what I'm seeing as far as how the team is handling the nagging injuries from some stars. You see like Kirby Joseph, they're not even really trying to test them. Like, hey, you just sit out over here, you get yourself ready for the regular season. And I like what I'm seeing on that front. Preseason games coming up. What are your thoughts on what's going to happen on Saturday tomorrow around noon or 1:00 here in the States?
I mean, you know, I'm still looking very much at these depth positions. The quarterbacks, it's still very much open, although I feel at this point I'm ready to go with Kyle Allen. I'm giving Kyle Allen the start, and I'm going to say, look, you give us a good half, this job's yours, because I think he's been by far the better quarterback out of the two here, but you still want to challenge that. And then you're looking, it's your offensive line, it's depth. We need somebody to stand up at tackle. Nobody is playing well at offensive tackle to back up Decker and it's such a concern now. People going down, you know, Jamarco Jones has looked bad. Manu's had his moments, but he's still for the most part he's just raw and he's bad and he's a development guy. I don't expect him to do much this year. Like somebody please, and Saucel's done now. That's terrible. You know, somebody somewhere along this offensive line has got to put their foot in the ground and say, look, I want to be part of the team and depth for you. I'm really concerned about it at the minute. So I want to see them guys fighting for their lives and showing something to us. And then outside of that, you're looking for your depth spots. You're looking still at your safety battle. I love the battle going on between Kennelly and all these guys at safety four. Hopefully, them really makes a break for it. But get into the business. The big performances really get noticed. You're a few weeks into camp. You're starting to get heated up a bit. Going to take it. Got that extra 10% to give to make. There's plenty I'm looking out for here. I think plenty of depth spots we can decide at this point. And, I still give the rookies time out there. I give Ratledge some time. I give him some time. We're going to Lambeau Field week 1. And I want these guys to be ready because I want to kick their ass there for a 4 year in a row. And I think these reps are good. So I would still like to keep seeing the rookies at this point. And then just give Hassanin all the reps he can get. Really give him a shot to have a go at this roster as well. So, yeah, I want to see the rookies very much involved. And, I want to see the depth players fighting hard. There's a lot of questions to be answered still.
Yeah, definitely. And you have a special event coming up over there for Royal Lions UK. You guys got a live stream coming up. So tell us a little bit about that.
So we're going live at midnight tonight, our time. So it'll be 7 p.m. Eastern over there in America. So what it is, it's our 5-year anniversary. We started doing this podcast 5 years ago, and we had no idea this thing was going to last. We had no idea anybody in America was going to listen to us and take us seriously. We thought it would be a few people over here, and we've worked incredibly hard over these 5 years to try and be accepted by everybody over there and try and appear legitimate and to, because we love this, we love the team, we love talking about them, and we're celebrating 5 years of incredibly hard doing this. So we've got a lot of great guests coming on. I'm hoping I'll be able to get you on as well and chat with you after this and see if we can get you there. But, we just want to celebrate everybody who's helped us along the way. Like you helped me no end. We go back to our Lions on the Prowl days, Free for All Fridays, and gym, and it's been an emotional journey. Like this has really changed my life a lot doing this ever since I started. So we're going to be live for 24 hours. We're going to do the whole thing. We've got guests, we've got quizzes, we're into charity fundraiser as well. So we've got a charity over there in Michigan we're backing. Got one over here in the UK. It's Maggie's Cancer Charity because unfortunately one of our hosts has been affected, and they've helped him over the last few years deal with a really aggressive form of cancer and giving him extended life. So we're doing this doing it to celebrate. If you're around, or even just spread the word, like it, share it, put the word out there about it. We're just celebrating 5 years of us trying to do something. Yeah, we'll be live for the 24 hours. We've got lots of good stuff. There's tape reviews of the rookies, as quizzes, guests, or just trying to highlight how great it is. So, as always, I appreciate you, Curt. You for years have helped me, put me into this thing. I'm a nobody. You helped me out. I appreciate it very much. And always be there to help you back.
Yeah, you're somebody to us, man. You're the Brit with grit. My nickname used to be Jason Statham Jr., but you're so much bigger than he is, man.
No, stick with that. I like that, Curt. I like being Jason Statham Jr.
Jason Statham Jr. Hey, thank you guys for checking us out right here on the Boss Up Ball Out podcast, your home for organic debate about Detroit Lions news and rumors, man. Y'all know how we do it on Fridays. We do it like dominoes, old school, 30 minutes or less. If you haven't done so already, make sure you follow the crew on your favorite social media platforms. Of course, Coach Mike Jones does a great job on this channel, posting some shorts, and over there on Wolverine Lions Sports Talk. I post content on all of my social media platforms from this channel. And of course, LL Cool Torrance, man, they was in the building. They was in the chat this morning. So go check those guys out on the Instagram page. He had a special Thursday yesterday, of course, for joint practices. Okay, time to get out of here, man. Thanks you guys for checking us out, man. We love you guys. We appreciate you. Glad to be back on Fridays. We were missing this definitely, but thanks again for Anthony of Royal Lions UK for coming on and hanging out, man. It's always a pleasure to have you on, and I look forward to participating in you guys' live stream, man. If it ain't just for a couple of minutes, man, because you guys have great content. Hey, do your man Curt still a favor? Whatever you're doing in life, you guys to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. For my special guest host, Anthony from the Royal Lions UK. This is Curt Steele, and we will holla at you real soon.